A Speedway special, we're off to Warrnambool for round 10 of the World Series Sprint Cars. Let's take a look at them as they run for the line. Anderson out of pole, Joey Saldana from 2, Dawkins from 3, Murphy from 4 and Smith from 5. We've got a green, Lance Robertson. This will be a quick race.
It certainly will, and Saldana's already opened up a handy lead of 3 or 4 car lengths over our second place competitor at the moment, and he's driving hard back onto the main straight. Why, gee, he's quick around here at Warrnambool. He loves this circuit.
Now, Anderson qualified time 11.761 seconds. That is a quick lap. The track is slick, and right at the moment, it seems that the leader has just got that break. If he can hold this and we don't have any dramas, this could very well be a record time race. Great crowd here. As you can see, the track extraordinarily well prepared.
It certainly is. The Claypan tacky tracky obviously giving a lot of drive, and these cars, their front wheels and back wheels are lined up fairly straight all the time. You don't see any masterful sort of sliding, although as I speak, a little bit of rough bump and jump there from our race leader at the moment, Joey Saldana from the US of A in car number 6. On screen now, the driver of car number 4, Peter Murphy from New South Wales, did a great job to qualify up in 4th placing for this 30-lap A feature.
Well, one thing's for sure and certain right at the moment, everybody pretty keen on the top line and then come down low here on the straight. So everyone looking for some traction. Saldana really starting to charge through the field. You can see a lot of tear-offs on the side of the circuit. There's been a lot of mud thrown up, but right at the moment, the pace is electric at the front, and with 11-second laps in qualifying, there's Tatnall. He looks strong as well. These guys are reeling them on.
He certainly is. Well, Tatnall's now coming into the slower traffic, and it's only taken them half a dozen laps out of this 30-lap feature to be able to have all sorts of problems with the slower drivers. Number 37, David Anderson, he's the one in the blue car. Now we look back towards Tatnall. In the foreground there was Anderson in second placing, so it's very close racing. Out in front, Saldana, second place is Anderson, and coming from 6th placing in qualifying, Brooke Tatnall is right up onto the heels of these front 2 runners.
Yes, they're certainly caught up in a little bit of traffic already, and you can see that Tatnall now trying the high line. That should work for him. He's been using it to great effect earlier this evening. Sure does. Look at that as he just blasts on by.
Lap number 9 out of 30, and Tatnall now takes a handy lead in the Helix Shell car. He's got a country mile lead, as they say in the classics, and he's driving hard down the back straight. 10 laps down, 20 to go. Is there any stopping Brooke Tatnall from this point of view at this early stage in the race with 1/3 distance? I don't think he's going to be stopped.
Well, he certainly got on with the charge at this point in the race. It's looking strong for him. All he has to do is just keep it clean and tidy, keep it out there. You can see just how hard he's working, but by the same token, the car looks smooth out there. He seems very well in control of the conditions. It seems to be going Brooke Tatnall's way.
Up the inside he now drives. He's working that torsion bar. So, oh, there's a tap there as they come onto the main straight. One of the slower drivers there has got out of the road by going right up onto the outside of the fence. But Tatnall, I wonder if that'll damage his drivetrain there. The quick change diffs that they use in these 700 horsepower fire-breathing cars is absolutely phenomenal. And they're very, very finicky, Greg McShane. They only take the slightest of knocks, and you can knock anything out of alignment.
They are extraordinarily fragile. It's one of those things that these cars go so hard but are very fragile. They do not like being hit on any of the corners, let alone when they go over. Of course, we've seen just what dramas are done to those wings. The wings are expensive, $1,000 a piece. Most of the drivers here for this type of track will have set the wing further back to try and get some traction, and you can see that there's some different setups with the way the cars behave on the track. Most of them using a ladder bar suspension on the rear, torsion bar suspension on the front, and just look at the clay being thrown up by the tyres. It's pretty tough on the rubber on these things. They usually use a pair of tyres per feature race. That's not cheap, but in this class of racing, well, you fully expect to spend big money if you want to win big money. Look at Brooke Tatnall. He's in charge of this one.
Well, Tatnall may well be in charge of this one, but on screen now, one of the best in the business is Gary Rush from Sydney in his Castrol car, smoking the rear wheel. And Greg McShane, he's certainly got good cause to do that. Qualified in 11th. He's now charged up into 7th. Here comes the king.
Seems to be hooking up real well as it's coming out of the corners. And you can see as the smoke pours off the tyres just how much temperature the tyres develop. These cars are only happy when they're going left. In fact, if you see them in a straight line, the front wheels shimmy left and right. And if it happened to be not going left, it's not a happy car at all. You can see that really oversteer is the only way to get these things around the corners. Engine-wise, they make big horsepower, around 700. They burn methanol fuel, 372 cubic inches, constant flow fuel injection systems, virtually all come from the USA. In fact, a lot of the competitors send engines to the USA to have them refurbished. Most teams use 3 engines throughout a season, 2 in Australia, 1 lives in the United States. Having said that though, there are some great engine builders in this country putting together some big horsepower engines. With big horsepower comes big expense. Expect to spend around $600 to $800 per race meeting just on running cost alone for the engine.
Expensive the engines might well be, but they certainly save costs on the brakes because they very rarely wear them out. But look at that right rear tyre there of Tacknell as the race leader drives a little bit wide into turns 1, 2. Down the back straight he sets himself up. I was alluding to the fact that the track is becoming very, very slick indeed. The close camera shots, the excellent angle that we get to see them coming onto the main straight, you can see nothing but smoke on those rear tyres. There's our second place driver at the moment, Joey Saldana from the US of A. As I speak, our camera shot changes back to our race leader in the Shell Helix car.
Yes, this is a great run from Tacknell, and considering how badly the season started out for him, he would be very pleased to find himself leading this one. In fact, from lap 9 now, he's been in charge of this one. Saldana looks strong as well, smoke pouring from the rear. Gee, you've got to hand it to the way the cars are set up. The crews really have worked hard between the heats. They've got them to the final, and they are working just, well, so well at the moment. You can see again Tacknell going up in wheel spin. The different size tyres on the rear, well, you want to go left, you might as well have a smaller tyre on the inside. The larger tyre on the outside drives the car all the way around. Given that the car is correctly set up, the driver can virtually keep it in a power slide for the entire lap.
Yes, certainly looking spectacular with only half a lap to go. Now halfway through turns 3 and 4, he'll greet the checkered flag in spectacular style. The winner of the 30-lap feature in what should be a very fast time indeed is Brooke Tacknell. Second placing going to Joey Saldana and David Anderson from Victoria in third. And it was a fast time, a new record over 30 laps of Warrnambool, 6 minutes 23.47 racing seconds. Well, that ends here at Warrnambool, but don't go away, race fans. Plenty more Speedway action in the program, including super sedans and the Australian Sprint Car title from Archerfield in Queensland.